Sam Seder in for Thom Hartmann today.
Hey, Sam, it's good to hear you on the air. This is Mark Taylor-Canfield. I'm a journalist, a regular contributor to Thom's show. And I'm writing an article right now about the Time Warner-Comcast merger case before the FCC for op-ed news. I wanted to relate a little story about what we're up against here. A few years ago, I testified before the FCC on this very subject when Colin Powell's brother Michael Powell was chairman.
Right.
And the text of that testimony can be found at reclaimthemedia.org, which is a media democracy group in Seattle. But at that time, we had two friends on the commission, Adelstein and Copps, both Democrats, but they were outvoted by the Republicans. And I see now that Michael Copps has been very critical of this newest merger, and I'm worried that they might go ahead with business as usual this time as well. I brought up several studies at that FCC hearing that the FCC itself had commissioned, which found that corporate media consolidation limits local news coverage, and it also limits minority and female ownership of the media. But, Sam, even though I had those two reports in my hand at the hearing, the commissioners claimed they had no knowledge that those studies that they themselves had commissioned even existed. So that was really a slap in the face for me as a journalist. And what I did was I interviewed Professors Napoli and Janich, who did the reports. Janich is from the University of Delaware. They were both really upset that their reports were buried. So you can see what we're up against. And
absolutely. And I would take it even a step further when we're talking about delivery of Internet services. My producer, Michael Brooks, had a great piece that outlined just how much more of a burden this is going to put on low-income folks. And we already have a digital divide in this country. And like you say, this Time Warner-Comcast deal is problematic, I think, both on antitrust grounds, and that's for the Department of Justice, but also, the FCC has to look at this and say, is this the standard for them is this in the public good? And I just don't see by any measure how this could possibly be in the public good. But its comment period is open now, and people should be flooding the FCC with this stuff.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. This year, Reporters Without Borders has ranked the United States as 46th in the world in terms of press freedom. And as an American journalist, I cannot be proud of that. I would be willing to send you at Majority Report these reports so you can look at themselves, because I think it's a really important issue, and I really think people need to get on the FCC right now and explain to them that media democracy is the number one priority in this country. It's not who can make the most money. It's how do we get the truth out to the public. In order to have a democracy that is functional, as Jefferson said, you have to have a well-educated public. And right now, we're really suffering. So this is a story that I hope that people continue to push and continue to work really hard on. And I shout out to all the media democracy groups and independent journalists out there that are trying to keep their voices on the air. We've lost a lot of progressive voices in the Seattle-Portland area. And this is a subject that we can't let go of. We got to push.
You're right, Mark. Yeah, send me that information. I appreciate it. And that also reminds me, we've got this is the last day for comments on Keystone XL. My understanding is there's going to be over 2 million comments on whether or not this thing is approved by the Obama administration. We'll put a link at thomhartmann.com up so that you can put in a comment.